I'ma show y'all why. Let's get it. I just float with it. Fuck what you did, I'm at your throat with it. You can learn something, take a note with it. Dedicated my life, I took an oath with it. For the blood of my brothers, we don't do no switching. I run with who I run with, ain't no clicking. Try me, then you done with no decision. Lead a scene like a Mack truck with 4 collisions. Poles everywhere, but they ain't gonna vote this in. Coming at you live and direct, I don't do no dissing. Don't try this is practice, but it's my risk. I can freeze time, look at my wrist. Bloodline and Lion of Judah, I'm hybrid. Cause I'm the go-to. Trying to reign forever, man. Who chose you? Niggas thinking that they hot, I say I'm cold too. Never go against the cold or it's cold blue. That's my vibe with it. I got 10% of your memory. Pay tithes with it. Keep a piece of your apple so I don't FaceTime with it. If we fall out, I don't burn bridges, I bomb bridges. Can't deny the truth for greatness. Fall in line with it. Can't beat us, join us. When West where you find niggas. Rap what I rap about. Don't confuse my squad, nigga. The difference is we know you hope that God with you. The fruits of my labor with a banana clip. My mind different. You would think that Bitcoin fell the way these stockpiling. Green beans with supersonic rays. I am not island. Be a high head, get a heat seeker, so stop wildin'. Big dog to you little pups, so stop growling. I'm my only competition, there is no challenge. I do this in my sleep, man, I am not lying. Different breed, pick a choose, I can switch the lead. Ain't no up in the score, cause we ain't switching leads. Watch who you call your dog or you be picking fleas. Or get a drum roll like a 2-piece and a biscuit, please. You ain't got enough stripes just to sit with me. On top of the food chain, you can't get with me. Coded to the common code, you ain't as sick as me. Moses to your wave, got a stab that can split your seed. I make everything hot. I took a bar off, all I did was breathe. Championship games, I treat them as practice. Look at niggas' career high like, yeah, that's what I average. I do this with my eyes closed and walking backwards. See, I call them trophies, but you know them as caskets. Everybody energy change up when it's static. T.I. with the fittest, too many ways niggas cap it. We taking new soldiers every day, put your app in. Taking new soldiers every day, put your app in. Okay, that's enough, man, that's enough.
They killed, give me Isaiah 14 and 21. They did the same thing to my people. So that you said that they put billions of my actions. Yes, you said so. Should a murderer go to jail for murdering? Absolutely. Should a thief go to jail when he steals? Absolutely. Should a robber pay back the money he robbed? Absolutely. So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did? That's right. One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
I'm in a hell of a hole, was never expected to grow. Just obstacles set in the road, that a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never a home, only a place of captivity, safe facility, hating, disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe this slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting. The trail of my tears is countless. Main fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angel, be ready to rap. Crack in the sky, nuclear missiles will make it official. I'm capturing every crack and surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be. Slavery for me. And let the whole world see that when I'm in the cage and safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash. Get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom be busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now. You'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. No remorse in my blood slump. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I buy gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember YAHANNA's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in his body, you fit the Lord, fuck the cartel. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Vondale. Payback's a bitch in a dress, she a bombshell. Revenge is served cold, I just hope they make an oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in a world of mad shooters. There was design 5 for our babies to pass through it. And the day of our king's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums.
You'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
You boy. You know what time it is, nigga.
Better watch how you step in. Yeah. But that was my nigga. Yeah.
Many yo. Got my nigga Rawan with me.
But that was my niggas, it'll be an honor.
You know what I'm saying?
Under commanding General YAHANNA.
Straight off the top, I love all of my niggas. That shit ain't gon' stop till we on top and we ballin' my nigga. We be fly as fuck, you know them bitches be stalking my niggas. That shit'll never change and it's the same with all my niggas. City to city, I should be at home. That's what my ribs say. But bitch, I'm grown. I'm in these streets and closed caption. Niggas know we bout that action. If a nigga play with me, then my Hakim gon' let him have it. Hey, thank you the shit, this truth the shit. Nigga play, I let that Ruger hit. Get on them tracks, they be like, who is this? I'm rude with it. Ain't got no manners. All them pussy niggas talking shit. Yeah, I know they can't stand us, but we U.P.K, Louisiana, bitch, that's what I'm ripping. And my niggas solid number, real ones in my section. If you wanna get down, put your boots on, start stepping. Brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you stepping, cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you stepping, cause brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon.
Check. Most High in Christ. Clap it up. Are we still sharing the caution? Knuckle one. All right. Only other thing is just to drop this camera just a little bit. Yeah, just drop it so that it's not showing the top of the banner, Baba Kusha. Yeah. Most High in Christ. Like I said, just clap it up. Shalom, Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shabrakatah to my brothers, Yahweh Shamar Alatah B'Hashem Yahweh Shad, all my sisters, priest and officer of 1,000 Bon Kayal, and we're coming out of Fayetteville, North Carolina. And this is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, coming out of 1 West on 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under the operational direction of Commanding General YAHANNA. All right. And tonight is our Monday night biblical history class. And there's a lot going on in the earth, a whole hell of a lot going on in the earth. But the only thing Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians should be concerned with is where we stand with the Most High Power. All right. We can't focus on what all the garbage that's well, the biblical prophecy that's unfolding before our eyes in the Middle East and all over the earth. All these nations, you know, at variance with one another, prepared to go to war with one another. If you Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, it's time that you go to war with your own demons, all right? It's time that we go to war with the things that are plaguing our nation from being one. It's time for us to go to war with the oppressor spiritually, all right? It's time for us to spiritually remove our spirits, remove all that energy, all the time and all the resources, you know, all the nostalgia, you know, that honor that we have in the oppressor's culture. We have to remove that, man. We have to get rid of that love that we have, that love affair that we have with the oppressor and his culture, because it's destroying us. It's the reason why we're on the bottom. It's the reason why we're going to continue to get brutalized the way that we do in the earth. All right. Commander General YAHANNA has authorized priests and prophets in the I.S.U.P.K to go out and to ring the alarm, to blow the trumpet, to wake up Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, to let them know who they are, to let them know where they come from, to let them know who their power is or who their God is, to let them know how they can be saved, and to let them know that they're going to be in rulership in the kingdom of heaven, all right, amongst other things. But the primary purpose of the I.S.U.P.K is to teach Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians that they're God's chosen, and there's a certain way by which we are to live while we're on this earth, all right? In the I.S.U.P.K, we teach daily life living skills to the so-called Negro, to the so-called Latino, to the so-called First Nation, or the Native Indians, or the North American Indians, all right? And like I said, tonight, we're just going to go into Halloween, the pagan origins of Halloween, or what it's known by in this school is Samhain, is how you would pronounce Samhain. Samhain is how they spell this ancient pagan religious celebration of Samhain. Okay, we're gonna go into the scriptures. We're gonna hit you with a few scriptures to help you better understand why, as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we should not celebrate Halloween or All Hallows Eve or Samhain, or take our kids trick-or-treating, or to the trick-or-trunk, or to the fall festival, or to the bonfire, or to go bob for apples, or to go do any of that evil, wicked nonsense that the oppressor has taught us to do, because that's his culture. He doesn't get punished for worshiping Satan, okay? He is the living, breathing, walking personification of Satan on the earth. This is the reason why we call him the devil that the Bible speaks of, because he's the deceiver. Right. He's deceived us into believing that we can take part in this American dream, this Martin Luther King's dream, believing that we can, join hand in hand with him and not worry about, getting brutalized and unalived. We have to realize that the oppressor has never had love for any Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Right. All right. We got to stop doing that same thing over and over and over and over again, continually give our love to them, continuing to let our guards down so that we can be abused and be used by the oppressor, by these other nations. When is enough enough? Who is going to stand for Christ? Who is going to stand for our nation? Who's going to stand for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians outside the Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge? We do that every weekend. Every day we're standing for our nation. We're standing for Christ, the Mashiach in the Hebrew, okay? And we're showing you the evil of the oppressor. We're revealing who the man of sin is, who the son of perdition is. It's being revealed to you in real time. You're looking at Joe Biden, you're scratching your head, and you're wondering why he's standing with Israel. And you see the evil that the so-called Israelis are doing to the Palestinians, man. They're unaliving babies. Those are hands that are shedding innocent blood in the sight of, the world. And America, has co-signed everything that's going on with respect to the Israelis, because they are not Israel. They are not who we are. We are Yasha. We are the princes of the power. Okay, that is our designation. That's how the Most High. That's the designation of the Most High power gave us through our forefather Jacob. Okay, our ancestors are Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob's name was changed to Israel. He had 12 sons. From those 12 sons came the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. The lost 12 tribes. If you leave it to your pastor, they will continue to be lost. But in the I.S.U.P.K, that's the value of these history classes. We go in and we show you your ancestry. Okay, so if you can, brother, can you pull up pagan origin of Halloween? And we could just go to history. History.com has a good article. I like this article that I read to the kids last night. It's in the email. If you pull up the email, you'll see. Yeah, you pull up our email and you'll see where the class is. I sent a bunch of stuff to the email because that's what we do, man. In our downtime, even when we're at our slaveries, we are figuring out ways by which we can help to rebuild our nation. We're putting our brick in. Each priest and prophet in Israelite school, universal practical knowledge, all over the globe, we are putting our brick in to rebuild the kingdom of the Most High here on this earth. Because you do know heaven's going to be here on this earth. Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, woman, and child. We are terrestrial beings, meaning that the Most High power created us to exist, not just to exist, but to thrive on the earth. The Most High power blessed us with dominion over the earth through our ancestor Adam. Okay, if you on the bottom, we living in hellish conditions. This is not what the Most High created us for. He didn't create us just to be existing, just to be going through the motions, to be living in poverty, for our families to be broken, torn apart. Us living in abject dysfunction. That's not the life that the Most High power created us to live. But we live those lives because of us being joined to the oppressor, us celebrating his holidays, us eating the foods that the Lord said are an abomination, us eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster, desiring to eat those things that the Lord says are abominations, but the oppressor says are delicacies. Okay, we got to stop looking at everything the oppressor has and the way by which he conducts himself on the earth and choose the other way. We got to go the opposite direction. We can't follow after the oppressors. We can't follow after these other nations. We can't live like the heathen. We're royalty. Okay. All right, so where we at? Yeah, that's the one right there. Look at that. That's creepy, man. So, like I said, tomorrow is that Halloween, as it's known the world over. Okay, in modern times, the modern era, we refer to this ancient pagan Celtic religious celebration as Halloween, but it's known as Samhain. Okay, and my brother's going to read. We're going to get into this article and read about the pagan origins of Halloween and some of the traditions. Okay, and they're not so innocent. All right, don't think because they're giving this to your kids at school, they're teaching your kids about this stuff in school, taking them to the pumpkin patches, and they want you to go to a corn maze and all sorts of ancient traditions that are being taught to our children in the modern era that are very evil and very wicked and very much so against the Most High power. We don't recognize them as being such because the oppressor presents it as it being a very innocent thing, but it is not an innocent thing. Okay, and you're going to learn something about Halloween tonight, if you can, brother. Salakia.
The origins of Halloween traditions. All right.
I'm gonna follow along with you.
All right. We start at I start right here. Yeah, that's what it looks like. All right. It says carving pumpkins, trick-or-treating, and wearing scary costumes are some of the time-honored traditions of Halloween. Yet, the Halloween holiday has its roots in the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain,
Right.
a Gaelic word pronounced Samhain.
Right. So my brother said that this is a very ancient Celtic festival of Samhain. Okay. This is an old thing. This holiday that we celebrate in contemporary times, the Bible says there's nothing new under the sun. What's been done today has been done yesterday and the days before that. Okay. Our Bible teaches us to remember the days of old. Our ancestors never kept Halloween. They never acknowledged Samhain. Keep reading.
Kind of one kind. All right. A pagan religious celebration to welcome the harvest at the end of the summer.
So that word pagan, okay, let me give you the definition of pagan, okay, according to Merriam-Webster. All right. And it says the meaning of pagan, a person who practices a contemporary form of paganism, such as Wicca. A pagan is a person who is not religious or whose religion is not Judaism, Islam, or especially Christianity. It says heathen, pagan, a follower of a polytheistic religion as in ancient Rome or Greece, meaning they follow many different gods, many different idols. There is only one God, and his name is Yahweh, okay? He's the creator of all living things. These other gods, there is no life in them, all right? That's what we have to understand. And it says literary, pagan, one who has little or no religion and who delights in sensual pleasures and material goods, a non-religious hedonistic person. And that's a really interesting definition there. Because when you think about the people who live their lives that way, who lives their life in a carefree manner on the earth? They don't have any religion as far as, as we would think would be a good thing. You think you're going to church on Sunday, and I understand most of our people are lost and caught up into that church, and you think that you're serving the Lord by going to the church, but you're actually serving Satan when you walk into those churches. You're actually serving other gods when you go into those Muslim mosques or whenever you go into these Jewish synagogues or these Buddhist temples. You're worshiping other gods. In these places, you learn paganism, you learn polytheism, you learn to honor or hold in high esteem gods that are not living. Okay, you're learning the tradition of the dead when you walk into a church, a Christian church specifically. All right, it says one who has little or no religion and who delights in sensual pleasures. Think about the people who just do things. They pursue their happiness. Isn't that a part of what the Constitution says? It's about the pursuit of happiness. In the words of John Locke, the reason why we sit and we feel like pursuing our happiness is all right is because the oppressor embeds that into our psyches. I don't read that. I don't read about that pursuing your happiness anywhere in the Bible. I don't see that anywhere. But I do see that when you're obedient and you serve the Most High Power by keeping His laws, statutes, and commandments, that the Most High Power will bless you. Okay, and He'll give you the desires of your heart or of your mind, the things that you want that are righteous, not carnal, okay, and not vain. All right. So one who delights in sensual pleasures. The reason why drug culture is so popular amongst Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians is because we're following the oppressor. We're following the other nations. You want to get high like an East Indian. You want to pop pills like an Edomite. It's never been cool amongst our people to, participate in drug abuse.
Right.
That stuff was forced onto us, onto our communities. It was pushed upon us, okay? It wasn't something that we weren't really willing participants in that, all right? There's a very strategic, evil operation that befell blacks and Hispanics and Native Indians in America, wherever we live, in the ghettos, in the projects, in our barrios, on the reservation, in the favelas. You know, the evil that has befallen us has come from the oppressor. All right, we'll just say white society. They are responsible. They are at the root cause of all of our suffering, of all of our oppression, of any misinformation about who we think we are, or the God that we're supposed to be serving. The oppressor is right there. He's the one that's deceived us into believing that by going to church on Sunday, you're getting close to God, and believing that pursuing your happiness is a good thing. And these are all vain carnal things, all right? And material goods. This is the reason why we have an affinity for wanting to what? We want to buy designer.
Right.
You don't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of.
Right.
But everybody and their mama wants to have the Fendi, have the Gucci, have the Prada, have the Yves Saint Laurent, have the Levin, you know, have the Givenchy, you know, and all other crap, the meaningless crap most of that stuff is designed by gay men anyway. You know, I always think about them True Religions. How do you know a brother's wearing True Religions or robbing jeans? You got to look at his behind. You got to look at a grown man's behind and know based off of the emblem that they put on the pocket, even with the EV That's how you knew. And the crown holders. And what's the other one that Jeezy was wearing real hard? The red monkeys. I'm a red monkey junkie. Yeah, all of that. The emphasis on the pockets. It's kind of weird to me. It's very, very weird. They could have put the design anywhere else on the pants, but they put it on the pocket. On the back pocket. Good night. Not the front pocket, the back pockets. Good night. All right. So a non-religious hedonistic person, when you look at all your entertainers, you know, they are promoting this pagan or just paganism, this carefree, you know, attitude. And it's all based upon the worship of money. Because without the money, you can't live a carefree life. You live the life of a slave without money. All right. Anyhow, let's get back to the article. I went on a long tangent there. All right. So we said a pagan religious celebration.
Right. In the 8th century.
No, to welcome.
Okay. A pagan religious celebration to welcome the harvest at the end of the summer, when people would light bonfires and wear costumes to ward off ghosts.
Right.
In the 8th century, Pope Gregory III designated November 1st as a time to honor saints. Soon after, All Saints' Day came to incorporate some of the traditions of Samhain. The evening before All Saints' Day was known as All Hallows' Eve,
right,
and later Halloween. Here is a look at the origins of some of the classic Halloween traditions we know today.
All right, so that was heavy. That was heavy. You touched on a few things there, Pauls. You were talking about the celebration of welcome the harvest at the end of the summer. You know what gets harvested at the end of the summer? Usually they see things like what? Pumpkins. You get potatoes that are harvested. Some of those gourd fruits and vegetables get harvested. Corn. This is why, you know, they call it a fall festival, and they light the bonfires and they have the corn mazes, you know, and then they take you to a pumpkin patch and they give you the hay rides. You know, this is all to embrace or to worship the earth. You're worshiping Salakia. You're worshiping the harvest season. You're closing the end of the summer. Okay. And this is the thing that the heathens do. All right. And it says to wear costumes to ward off ghosts. It also mentioned the Pope. Who does the Pope represent on earth? The Pope is the leader of the Christian church. All right. The Roman Catholic Church, you know, who's at the root of most of all the oppression. that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians have endured for centuries. All right. Pope Gregory III designating November the 1st as a time to honor the saints. Who are the saints? The Israelites are the saints, man, according to what the scriptures say. The saints, they're not playing in New Orleans, but they are playing in New Orleans, okay? They just don't know that we're the Israelites because we're taught that we're African-American or that we're Dominican or that we're Puerto Rican. We're not taught the truth about who we are based off of who our father is, and tracing that bloodline back to one of the chiefs of the tribes. If you're a black man, you're from the tribe of Judah. If you're a Puerto Rican, a so-called Puerto Rican, you're from the tribe of Ephraim. If you're a so-called Dominican, you're from the tribe of what? Simeon, okay? You can come check us out. We got the 12 tribes chart is all online. Just Google it. Google 12 tribes chart. I.S.U.P.K 12 tribes chart. Because some of those other fake Israelite groups, they add and they take away, you know, and they rename some of the tribes as being, you know, just different than what we have in this school. All right. All right. So let's get down to some of these traditions. The carving of, no, drop that. Go back to history.com.
All right.
That's even better, more in depth. This one was more so about the different traditions.
Uh-huh.
I want to get into just the more of the history. It's going to give us the same little breakdown.
All right. You said the history.com?
Yeah, history.com. It'll just say Halloween and it'll pop up.
Got you.
Yeah, just you could just type in Halloween.
All right.
And like I said, we're the I.S.U.P.K. I.S.U.P.K is an acronym for our school, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. And in this school, like I said before, we teach daily life living skills to God's chosen people because the Christian pastors have dropped the ball. The churches have not taught blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians what they need to know in order for us to get right with our power, get right with our God. And this is the reason why we're on the bottom when you look at society. This is the reason why we lead in every negative statistical category when it comes down to overall health. We lead in heart disease. We lead in diabetes. We lead in hypertension. You know, we're starting to take strides in getting early onset dementias, vascular dementias, Huntington's disease, Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease.
You could
that wasn't something that was commonplace amongst blacks and Hispanics. Go ahead, brother.
with the you know, all the rampant drug use, you know, that adds to all these disabilities, diseases. We acute onset of all these diseases
Right.
we get because all the weed and heroin and the, you know,
yeah,
cocaine and all the nonsense we consume and drugs we use.
pair
Yeah.
that with the foods,
It's
the unlawful foods.
Right, the unlawful foods. You recipe for disaster.
Shalish, you thought how we doing? I don't
Come on,
want.
sir.
Pair that with, you know,
I got a
all
roll
the
call.
oppression that we deal with
Right.
and the poverty. You know,
Yeah.
I'm surprised that we're still surviving out here. You know, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we're in danger.
Right. Exactly.
What's up?
I got a quick roll call. I got a roll call over here.
Brother, one of the hardest working men in Israel.
We got Brother Reggie checking in. Brother Reggie checking in as usual. Trooper Warriala. Shout out Trooper Warriala. Let's see. Sister Nara checking in. Trooper Hawan. What up, Trooper Hawan? Brother Officer Kodam in the building.
Right.
Trooper Darash. You know what I'm saying? Shalom, brother. Sister Kalaya Pie in the building. And Sister Summer in the building.
Yeah, right. Give them a hand. Give them a hand for showing up. Most High in Christ. Yeah, they in here. They in here tonight.
All right, we're back to the Halloween. Which one we get on this?
We could just start reading that.
Halloween is a holiday celebrated each year, October 31st, and Halloween 2023 will occur on Tuesday, October 31st. The tradition originated with the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain, where people would light bonfires and wear costumes to ward off ghosts. In the 8th century, Pope Gregory III designated November 1st as a time to honor all saints. Soon, All Saints' Day incorporated with some of the traditions of Samhain, the evening before we known as All Hallows Eve, and later Halloween. Over time, Halloween evolved into a day of activities like trick-or-treating, carving jack-o'-lanterns, festive gatherings, donning costumes, and eating treats.
Right. So you mentioned, some observances that we don't mention in the Bible.
Ages
First
ago,
chapter.
when history was short and winters were dark.
Oh, that's all right.
It's a quick history. It's a fast video, 2 minutes.
Yeah, we can get into that. We can definitely get into that. But with respect to Israel, we're not just pulling the rug from underneath you and not actually going to replace that with a more firm foundation in truth. All right, we're removing all of the sin, all of the vain things, the things that have no meaning, the things that have no value. That's what this school is doing. When we tell you to stop celebrating the oppressor's holidays, it's for good reason. We have our own holidays or our own high holy days and feast days. And it's in the book of Leviticus, the 23rd chapter. Okay. That's where all of the feast days, all the high holy days commissioned by the Most High Power, that's where they're denoted via the Bible. So when I tell you not to celebrate your birthday, not to celebrate New Year's, not to celebrate Mother's Day, Father's Day, the 4th of July, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Halloween, we're telling you this based off of what the Bible says. All right. We got the Feast of First Fruits, Purim, Hanukkah is coming up, the memorial blowing of the trumpets, the Day of Atonement. I mean, we have so many different feast days and high holy days that we are supposed to be observing. You go to church on Sunday, you're not even keeping God's law when it comes down to remembering the Sabbath to keep it holy. All right. The Sabbath is on Saturday. Really, sunset Friday to sunset Saturday evening encompasses the entire Sabbath. Okay. But you're not going to learn that in the Christian church because Christianity teaches you everything to separate you from the love of the Most High. It doesn't bring you closer to God just because it feels good to be in there with all the people in their Sunday's best, with all the music playing and under those low lights and all the pretty colors. You're going into that church and you are being destroyed. You're going into that church and you're being spoiled. That's what it means to be destroyed. All right. You got to come in here. You got to enter ye at the straight gate. And that's in the I.S.U.P.K. under Command of General YAHANNA. All right. So if you can go ahead and play that quick little video, brother.
It's from the History Channel. It's a quick Halloween information video.
It was short and winters were dark. Tribes of Celtic farmers believed there was one day a year where the season of life meets the season of death, when malevolent spirits could rise from their graves and walk amongst the living. It was Celtic Ireland, BC, and that day was called Samhain, the Celtic word for summer's end. On a day when so many spirits lurked, Druid priests tried to foretell whether their villages would survive the winter. Ordinary Celts lit great bonfires and disguised themselves to repel and confuse the spirits. In the 8th century, in a likely attempt to distract the Celts from their pagan practice, Pope Gregory III established All Hallows Day, a day honoring all saints, known and unknown, on November 1st. Europeans accepted the new holiday, but saw no reason not to enjoy their traditional rituals as well, and soon Samhain became known as All Hallows Eve. From there, it was a short walk to the name we all know today, Halloween. Predictably, such a heathen tradition was of no interest to America's first Puritans, and so it, like Europe, was left behind. Until the mid-19th century, when a potato famine drove over 1 million starving Irish and their folklore across the Atlantic and into America's port cities. An ocean from home and immersed in a cultural melting pot, their traditions began to change. The roaring bonfires shrank to lanterns carved from gourds, the first jack-o'-lanterns, and the Celts' demonic disguises became the sinister costumes of modern-day Halloween. The origins of trick-or-treating remain unclear. It is believed to have stemmed from a custom known as souling, in which the poor went from home to home and prayed for the souls of each family's dead in exchange for small cakes to eat. By the early part of the 20th century, Halloween was gaining a foothold as an American institution. Mass-produced Halloween costumes became commonplace, making Halloween one of the most profitable holidays on the calendar, earning retailers billions of dollars. Halloween's appeal transcends age, delighting both children and, yes, even adults alike. It's a day to step into costume, gorge on sweets, throw ghoulish galas, and scare ourselves silly. The truth is frightfully clear. Not even a silver bullet could stop Halloween now.
Damn, that's evil as hell. Not even a silver bullet. That's wild, ain't it? Well, we've been commissioned to stop Halloween, especially in Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian households, all right? And we up to the task, okay? Halloween is very wicked. It is very evil. And if you love God, you will not celebrate Halloween, okay? We just saw, last night before last, they had how many mass shootings? Saturday night? Was it the brother Skinbone in Chicago? His Halloween party got shot up. 15 people got popped at that party in Chicago. Now, I don't even understand what's the logic behind that. Who's hanging out in Chicago? Who's hanging out in, I hate to call it Chirac. You know, they get offended when you call it that, but it's like living in the Middle East. Who gives a damn what's happening in the Middle East? Because our neighborhoods literally are the Gaza Strip, as Captain Kahan quoted. We've been living in war zones, okay? This don't happen in Beverly Hills. This don't happen in the oppressors' neighborhoods. It's commonplace to us. This is how I know that there's a higher power at work. And we get punished. We get punished when we keep the holidays and the traditions and the customs of the oppressor. We can't live like the oppressor and not be punished because our Father actually loves us. The Most High Power loves Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. All right? Where we at?
It was also over the weekend a mass shooting in Tampa.
Yeah.
11 dead and 76 others injured. And the weekend of Halloween parties, it says 11 people dead and 76 others are injured. This is from the data from Tampa, Florida, the Gun Violence Archives. It says between Friday and Sunday, 12 mass shootings took place.
Right.
As of Sunday evening, the GVA defines mass shootings as when at least 4 people are injured or killed, excluding the shooter. Many of these shootings took place at large gatherings in the early hours of Sunday. This weekend's mass shootings come as the country mourns the victim of its deadliest mass shooting this year. Days earlier, 18 people were killed in a shooting in Lewiston, Maine.
Mm-hmm. That was the first one, and marking off the season of, violence, the season of shedding innocent blood, and this is what's happening. We've become desensitized to sheer violence and terror, living in America, living under the oppressor. This is not the way it's supposed to be. And this is the reason why, the Bible says, when the wicked rule, the people mourn. Because you have rulership and you voted to put Joe Biden in office, you voted to put Kamala Harris in office, and you voted to put Donald Trump at the helm as the president of the United States, the people are in constant mourning. You don't have God's chosen people, in rulership or in authority. The world would be such a better place if Commander General YAHANNA was the president of the free world. It'd be such a better place under Yahawashi Mashiach. But see, we don't see that. We don't recognize that. Everybody knows that, but nobody's trying to make any effort toward moving in that direction outside of the priests and prophets in this school. You can't just stand idly by on the sidelines and continue to hope for change and expect for things to get better in your neighborhoods, in your communities, in your household, with your relationships with other brothers and sisters, man. This takes action, all right? Everybody that's standing on the sidelines, you can only wait for so long, all right? There's going to come a time where you're not going to have an opportunity to pick a side. There's going to come a time where you're not going to have an opportunity to come in here and sit and listen to these classes and to learn these breakdowns and to learn these law, statutes, commandments. There's going to come a time when the doors of these schools are going to be closed, just like during the Great Flood when Noah shut that ark and it started to rain. It never rained on earth before, all right? Anyhow, let's give me Amos, was it 5:1? Yeah, we're going to get the book of Amos, chapter 5, verse 21. The book of Amos, chapter 5, and verse 21.
The book of Amos, chapter 5, verse 21. I despise your feast days.
Who is speaking here? The Most High is saying that I hate. I thought God was all love. Isn't that what your pastor teaching you in the church on Sunday? That God is all love, and we should just focus on love, 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 love. But it blatantly says right here that the Most High Power hates. What is hate? See, the hatred that we've learned, at the hand of Satan or the oppressor or white society has been paired with violence. They won't just separate from us. They got to destroy us. They have to put crack in our communities. They got to throw our babies, you got to use our babies as alligator bait. They have to rape or take indecent liberties with our mothers, with our sisters, with our daughters, with our aunts, and some of our uncles and brothers. These are the things that, define the wicked and evil of the oppressor, all right? The Most High Power hates the oppressor because of those wicked and evil doings. He hates the oppressor because of his vitriolic hatred for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, all right? It says, what?
I hate, I despise your feast days.
What is that? To despise something that is despicable. I mean, that is lower than, what does that word despise mean? To despise something.
It says despise, to feel contempt or a deep repugnance for.
Repugnance.
It also says to look down on with disrespect.
Good night.
To regard as negligible, worthless, or distasteful.
Negligible, distasteful, to look down at with disrespect. The Most High has no respect for the oppressor, okay? When he's talking about his feast days, where do we get these feast days of Halloween, of Thanksgiving, of Christmas, of New Year's? They're feast days because we pair these days, these celebrations, with consuming copious amounts of food. What is the food that is eaten on Halloween? Candy. They also do what? Bobbing for apples is one of those traditions of Halloween that was from that first article. Right. If you get the opportunity, we could probably, circle back. Right. But Halloween is a feast day. You're allowing your children to engorge themselves on copious amounts of candy, okay? And my brother talked about this at camp, how, you don't know what they're putting in the candy. And this is another thing. There's a thing called spin when you're searching news. Donald Trump, he called it fake news. But whenever you try to research a topic, you have to sift through all the BS. You got to sift through all the lies of the oppressor, okay? Even the news outlets will push an agenda to maintain the status quo or their standard of living. Right. They don't want Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians to come out of that subpar position of being on the bottom. They want to continue society being the way that it is. They want Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians to be the have-nots, and everybody else can have a piece of something, okay? So when you're looking at these news articles, you got to understand If we talk about razor blades and glass and drug-laced candy, it actually happened. We're not making this stuff up. These things actually happen. And I've seen an article, I think I sent it to the Gmails, a Fox article about, because you look up, Halloween candy, being tampered with. You'll get 1,000 articles that say, you got Snopes refuting that's a lie. They're saying that there's no truth in that. That's a myth. It's a myth that Halloween candy is dangerous and people are tampering with Halloween candy. So many different outlets will tell you that that's a lie. But there are very specific cases where this actually happened. Pixie sticks getting laden with drugs. Parents finding drugs that are in their kids' candy, and they're eating the candy thinking that, these are just gummy bears. And you almost nigh to endure a fentanyl overdose because this candy has been laced with some drug, with some opioid. Well, do you see the article? Yeah. That's a real article. That is a real article. And that article, I found that article, they say Fox News, you get a lot of spin with Fox News. You get a lot of conservative news from Fox News. The far right, they push and promote wicked and evil agendas against God's chosen people on Fox News under that devil, Rupert Murdoch. But that's another conversation. All right. This happened here in North Carolina. This article is from when? 2018? And they charged an 11-year-old North Carolinian charged with putting needles in Halloween candy. Let's read about that. What possessed this child to put needles in Halloween candy? Help me to understand that. If it's such a myth, if it's not true, you see it?
11-year-old in North Carolina charged with putting needles in Halloween candy. Police say. Good gracious. A North Carolina child is facing felony charges after police say the 11-year-old allegedly put sewing needles in Halloween candy. The Rowan County Sheriff's Office said deputies responded to a call on Halloween that a 12-year-old child suffered minor injuries after eating a candy bar with a sewing needle in it. The child had reportedly gone trick-or-treating in the Grace Ridge subdivision. A second candy bar with a sharp object was also found in the victim's candy stash. Good night. Another incident was reported on Thursday that a child's family had also been trick-or-treating in that same neighborhood. An investigation into the attacks led authorities to an 11-year-old child who was visiting relatives in the Grace Ridge subdivision. The Salisbury Post reported. They said the child put needles inside the candy with the intent to cause harm. The suspect was referred to juvenile court and was recommended for a mental evaluation. The suspect faces charges of distribution of food with a foreign object.
But like I said, when you Google, is Halloween candy safe? You're going to have so many different outlets validating that it's safe and that it is totally appropriate for you to allow your children to take candy from strangers. But that's one of the first lessons you learn, is to not take anything from a stranger. You're not even supposed to talk to strangers. But what do you do on Halloween? You gallivant your children, to the strangers in your neighborhood or in other communities. As Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, you ain't getting no good candy where we live. So you're going to go to the nicer neighborhoods on the other side of the tracks, okay? And that's what's going to happen. You're going to get needles put in the candy, amongst other things, all right? Just don't do it. Just don't participate in Halloween. Don't participate in trick-or-treating, all right? Let's go back to Amos. Amos 5.
Amos 5:21. I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies.
The Most High Power says that he hates, he despises your feast days. And we mentioned those feast days. Halloween is a feast day. Thanksgiving. What are you feasting on Thanksgiving? That Boston baked, honey baked ham and that fat turkey. Okay. That's what you're feasting on Thanksgiving. What are you feasting on Christmas? You have a Christmas meal. You're eating turkey again. You're eating ham again. You might be eating duck. If you look at a Christmas story, they ate duck on Christmas, which is an abomination. We can't eat duck. Being God's chosen, we shouldn't even consider that food. What are you eating on New Year's? Collard greens and black eyed peas. Those are all feast days. What are you eating on the 4th of July? You grilling out. The Most High Power hates all of the oppressor's feast days. He hates your feast days because we made these feast days our own. We were never supposed to make these feast days our own. When we have the high holy days, and the Most High said, I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. That hallelujah prayer that you do on Thanksgiving, or every Sunday, for Sunday dinner, the Lord ain't in there. He ain't hearing none of that. You sit here praying over pork, and you think the Most High is going to bless you? No, the Most High is going to get your leg cut off. You're going to lose your toes. You're going to deal with gout. You're going to deal with edema in your lower extremities. You're going to deal with strokes. You're going to deal with heart disease. That's what you're going to deal with. CHF. That's what you're going to deal with. You're going to deal with dementia, vascular dementia. You're going to deal with these things because the Most High Power, he punishes those whom he loves. He corrects those whom he loves. All right? He won't smell in your solemn assemblies. Keep reading.
Verse 22. Though ye offer me burnt offerings and your meat offerings,
right,
I will not accept them. Neither will I regard the peace offering of your fat beasts.
You're just wasting your time. You're wasting your time doing all that preparation. You ain't cooked not one damn thing for any of our feast days, any of our high holy days. It's like pulling teeth. You got to twist your arm to get you to make a dish to bring it down to the school. But nobody had to twist your arm to make the damn nasty macaroni and cheese for Thanksgiving. Right. And the disgusting dressing that you like to make. Right. Nobody had to twist your arm to do that. And I don't even understand that. Why do we love the oppressor in his holidays so much? When we got this Bible, and the Bible tells you exactly how to celebrate God's, the feast days and the high holy days. Nowhere do I read about Halloween in this Bible. But we adorn ourselves in the celebration. This literally worship. These are religious observances that the other nations always participated in. We were never supposed to be a part of these things. We got to get back to keeping our laws, man. All right. What does it say, verse 23?
Verse 23. Take thou away from me the noise of thy songs.
Most High Power ain't trying to hear it. He hates to hear trick or treat. He hates to hear that. He hates to hear the Monster Mash being played on Halloween, man. What else are they playing? Thriller? He don't want to hear Thriller. Why do you think Michael Jackson is no longer with us? Okay? Because the Most High Power, he hates and he despises these feast days. All right? And that's so crazy to me that Michael Jackson made Thriller and he is a damn Jehovah's Witness. I thought they don't celebrate holidays. The Jackson 5, they for damn sure made a Christmas album. I Saw Mama Kissing Santa Claus. Remember that? We can't be hypocrites in this truth, man. We can't be hypocrites being God's chosen. We're supposed to be a light to the other nations. We set the trends any damn way at our lowest. The other nations, they want to dress like us. Whatever's popular, we set the tone. We set the trends. So if we stop celebrating Halloween, the rest of the earth is going to have to do nothing but follow suit. Because the cool kids ain't doing it. The blacks, the Hispanics, the Native Indians, they're no longer buying Halloween candy. They're no longer buying Halloween costumes. They're not going to the damn zombie walk. They're not doing any of these things. We got to figure out another way to oppress them. We got to figure out another way to get them under our boots. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, the I.S.U.P.K is your only safeguard in these times, man. And that's because we're teaching the truth of God. We're literally leading God's chosen people back to Christ, man. Because we've turned our back on Christ. All right. It says, for I what?
Slakia, the book of Amos, chapter 5 and verse 23. Take thou away from me the noise of thy song, for I will not hear the melody of thy vows.
Most High Power don't want to hear the songs, man. He will not hear those songs. You sitting here putting all that energy into your praise and worship team on Sunday. The Lord ain't hearing none of that crap, man. You getting ready to prepare for, a Thanksgiving service and the Christmas service and a New Year's watch night service. The Lord ain't in none of that. He's in none of that. He ain't hearing none of that. He don't want to smell none of that. Amos, in the book of Amos, it says that he hates all of that. All right? Keep reading.
Kana one Khan, verse 24. But let judgment run down as waters, and righteousness as a mighty stream.
Man, let judgment run down as waters. Let that punishment flow throughout the earth. Yes, allow more mass shootings to transpire because of disobedience. That's what judgment is. Judgment is nothing more than punishment, man. And we so damn hard-headed, all we know is the punishment from judgment. We don't know the blessings. We don't know about being rewarded for being obedient. We're such a stiff-necked people. All we know is our party's getting shot up. That's what we know. Let judgment, let that punishment run down as waters, man. Let it flow freely throughout the earth. And righteousness as a mighty stream, man. We are that stream of righteousness in the Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge. Right. All right? We're the only ones telling you not to go to the fall festival, not to go trick-or-treat, not to buy them stupid Halloween costumes and to dress up like a damn clown. We're the only people telling you on the earth not to do these things because it's against God and God hates it, okay? All right, drop that. Let's go into, I had a few other scriptures I wanted to go into. Ephesians 5 and 11, let's go there.
Officer Shabala said we dressed up in bed sheets with pea stains on it. So did try to be a ghost. Oh,
I love Shabala. Well, wow. Most High ain't Christ.
Celebrating the holidays all wrong. We ain't got no business celebrating the holidays. We can't even do it right.
You're out there embarrassing the household. You done got the pissy bed sheets on the baby. It's ridiculous. You don't want to poke no holes in them because you got to still use them. You ain't tossing them in the garbage like, the Edomites or the Caucasians. They have the money to be wasteful on vain things that mean nothing. Every bit of money that we get, we need it. And we're supposed to use that money, man, as a tool, not to be buying no damn bed sheets to dress your child up as Casper, the Negro ghost, wasting our time, man. Right. Give me the book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 11. The book of Ephesians 5 and 11. Just gonna get a couple scriptures and run this thing down, man.
It's the book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 11. And have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness.
Man, we are not supposed to have any fellowship. That word fellowship is a strong word, and it's used throughout Christendom. We talk about fellowship. Fellowship is friendly association, okay? Especially with people who share one's interests. We can't be like-minded like these heathens, believing in, worshiping the lunar movement. This is the autumn equinox. This is after the autumn equinox. This is what the heathens do. They worship the sun, the moon, the stars, okay? They worship the earth. They worship the elements, the water, the air. We can't do those things. We got to be totally dependent upon the Most High, Him and Him providing for us. We ain't lighting no damn bonfires and then taking the light from the bonfire to go light the fires in our houses as a token of good luck. We can't do that, man. You know, all those superstitions and all those traditions are paganistic and they're satanic at their core. At their root, it's idolatry. And you blaspheme the name of God whenever you say you do these things in his name. You got churches that are having full out Halloween celebrations. I know Northwood Temple's about to have a shebanger out there. You ain't gonna be able to get up Ramsey Street. And the Manor Church, all these big time churches. Yeah, a black church having hallelujah night, man. We can't get into that. We can't do any of those things, man. You said Ephesians 5:11, right?
The book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 11. And have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them.
Rather what?
Reprove them.
So we ain't supposed to have no fellowship or no friendly association with the unfruitful works of darkness. There is no fruit in you celebrating Halloween if you're Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian. For one, it costs money that we do not have. We still trying to make $1 out of 15 cents. Like I said, we don't have a pot to piss in nor a window to throw it out of. All right? It's just unfruitful. What do you have at the end of Halloween? Just a bag of candy that's potentially tampered with? And most of that candy they handed out anyway has gelatin in it. You're getting the gummy bears, and they're not giving you beef gelatin. You're getting candy. You just adding sin to sin. Just wicked and evil for no damn reason. Have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness. This Halloween is a work of darkness. You know who the Celts were? You think about those European peoples, man, those ancient European peoples. Their priests were called Druids. And when you think about modern day Satanism and how it's practiced, most of that comes from Druid rituals. You think about Stonehenge and you think about the Bohemian Grove. You think about all of that earth worship, man. That's what those heathens were doing. That ain't what God's chosen were supposed to be doing. You know, being witches and warlocks, all that stuff, it comes from them. It comes from the Celtics. It comes from the Druids. It comes from the oppressor. All right? It says, but rather what?
But rather reprove them.
Yeah, man, we reprove them. Strong. We have strong reproval or correction. Okay, you don't have to allow. Just turn your lights out and go do something else. I wouldn't even leave a house Halloween night because it's just dangerous. I wouldn't get caught dead in the streets, man, on Halloween night. If you Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, you don't have no reason for being out amongst the people on Halloween. Go ahead, Adawan.
And so, like, if I may, you're right. Seeing a smile on your kid's face is not a reason to be out celebrating Satan. You understand? Mm-hmm. And oftentimes, that's if you break it down and you tell our people this is what we're supposed to be doing, what we're not supposed to be doing, and we really put ourselves in harm's way trying to satisfy our children. You understand?
That's right.
When the scripture talk about if you put your sons, your daughter before me, then you're not worthy. You understand? So you talk about you want to march your children around with dressed as goons and goblins. How can you say you want to serve the Lord?
Right.
It's a visible representation of what you're choosing not to do. You understand?
Right.
And so much of our lives, we don't, because of our ignorance in this empire, because of the Christian church and all of the lies that this empire pushes, like we decrease our real value.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Your children come home and they don't even give you a hug because they're ready to go trick or trunking. Mm-hmm. You understand? Right. Those things cannot like it all of that is so what's the word I'm looking for? It's so self-indulgent, man. You understand?
Right.
Christmas, Thanksgiving, Valentine's Day, whatever that it is, it's like you get self gratification. You understand?
That's
oh,
it.
That's the right word for that?
That's the right word.
Like, but then we raise our children up with this mindset, and we wonder why the community is not looking out for each other because of things like Halloween, where it's all about whatever you can get in your bucket. You understand?
Right.
I remember growing up where if I got some good candy in my bucket and my brother didn't get none of his, I ain't sharing my goddamn candy. You understand? Yeah. Just like Christmas, right?
Which you go to sleep.
Yeah. You in there counting your candy, making sure nobody get your candy.
Good night.
But that's that selfish spirit that America thrives off of, man.
That's right.
In Israel, man, your blessing is shared with your brother, your sister.
Right.
So these things, man, have to be pushed out in our neighborhoods and understanding these are days that the oppressor gives us to further oppress us. You understand?
That's right.
It further oppresses us with the mindset of running around for the idea that somebody can give you something out of a door, you know what I'm saying, of value.
Right.
No real love, just candy. No real no real communication, just this candy. No real sacrifices, just this candy.
Right. Right.
And black people, Hispanic, Native Indians, that candy is not what we need. The sacrifice has to come with us not getting the things that always put a smile on our damn face. And that's serving the Lord. So like,
no, damn right. You know, I don't want a hand. He's absolutely right. Absolutely right, man. You know, we gotta start making those sacrifices, you know, to love one another. And this reproving Halloween is a start. You know, teaching your children. Matter of fact, we can do that one. Give me the book of Deuteronomy. Salakia. Yeah. Deuteronomy 18. Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 10.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 18 and verse 10. There shall not be found among you anyone that maketh his son or his daughter pass through the fire, or that useth divination, or an observer of times, or an enchanter, or a witch.
Good night. There's a lot to unpack there.
The
Most High basically says that amongst the children of Israel, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, okay, none shall be found amongst us that allow our sons or our daughters to pass through the fire. Right. So you got to understand at one point in time in our history, we allowed we practiced ritualistic child sacrifice for a greater harvest, or for, you know, some deity with a little g, some little god to grant us favor, whether it be for the harvest, or for a short winter season, or for increase of some sort. And we literally sacrificed our children to other gods, to the gods, and I don't even want to make mention to the gods, but we do that today. We allow our children to pass through the fire when you allow them to go sit on the Easter bunny's lap at the mall, and you have them participate in Easter egg hunts, or when you have them decorate a Christmas tree and then present gifts to the tree. And on Christmas Day, everybody's kneeling before the tree, opening up the gifts that you first, you know, offered to the tree. You know, and what's the God of Easter? What's the God of Christmas? There's so many different variations to the different gods that are at the roots of all of these celebrations. I think it's Ishtar for Easter.
Right. I got some comments.
Nimrod for Christmas.
Nimrod for Christmas, right. Officer Awabad said,
I know Awabad was in here. Shout out to Officer Awabad.
It said, it destroys us as a people. A gift destroys the heart. Sister Kalayapa says, Salaki, if I may, kids really don't care as much about all that stuff. It's the adults that make it a big deal. Which is a fact.
No, she's absolutely right. The kids don't care. They don't care. They just want to do whatever, mama or daddy is doing. And because we're big grown behind kids, we never grew up. We're living our second childhood. We're living vicariously through our children. And we're thinking that we're giving them something that was what we would have wanted when we were their age. When in all actuality, we should be giving them the things that we didn't have that we needed when we were their age, like this truth. All right. Hold that. I want to go to that book in Proverbs. Good night. Salakia. Let's go to Proverbs 22:6 and just hold that scripture in Deuteronomy. We'll come back to that. Proverbs 22:6. Right. In keeping with the spirit of what the sister was bringing out, about the children, they don't care, but we have to influence them in a way that's going to be beneficial to their overall well-being, to their overall development. The things that we present our children have to be beneficial to them. Your whole purpose as a parent is to promote independence in your child. You don't want your children to be codependent upon you. When you teach them Halloween, they're codependent upon everybody but themselves. They're not buying their Halloween costumes. They're depending on you to take them throughout the neighborhood, to the other neighborhoods. They're depending on the neighbors to give them the candy. Our kids in this truth, they don't struggle with those codependency issues. Our children are taught to be self-sufficient and self-reliant, okay? But all in the spirit of righteousness. All right. We recognize the value of family, the value of community. And we're not going to just frivolously throw that away with something vain like Halloween or trick-or-treating or a fall festival or a trunk or treat. We know that those things lead to the destruction of our communities, of our neighborhoods, of our households. So we don't teach those things to our children. All right. Give me Proverbs 22:6.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 22, and verse 6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it.
I wish that I had parents that held true to this proverb, okay, to train us up in the way that we should go. And they did to a certain degree. They gave us the Bible. I don't think they intended on us reading it, though. I don't think, for all intents and purposes, they knew we were going to actually blow off the dust of that Bible, crack it open, and actually read and practically apply the things that are denoted to our lives in real time, which is what we do in this school. This is what we do each and every day in this school. And it has a trickle-down effect, okay? You are the example, that you set for your children. What they see you do, they will do, okay? You got a junkie room, your children are going to have a junkie room. Trust and believe, I know firsthand, okay? If your room is junky, your kids' room is going to be junky. If you don't bathe routinely, your children will not bathe routinely. You don't brush your teeth in the morning first thing, your children are not going to brush their teeth first thing in the morning, all right? Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. We don't teach our children Halloween. We teach the truth about Halloween to our children so they know from Jump Street what not to do. They know, okay, this is going to put me at variance with God, with the creator of all things, the creator of the universe. I don't want no smoke with the Most High. Who am I to be at variance with the Most High power? He has the power to punish me. He has the power to judge me, to correct me, to reprove me in real time. Those other kids, they're not being taught about the God of the Bible that your children go to school with. Your children our children are peculiar or strange in the sight of the other students, in the sight of the other teachers. We are literally sending our sheep amongst wolves. So you have to equip them with the truth. You have to equip them with understanding. They have to be obedient. There is no occasion for sin. There is no occasion for you to err, because that could be the decision that unalives you. That could be the decision that changes everything. And no, we can't celebrate Halloween. No, you can't carve a jack-o'-lantern. Y'all know the history of the jack-o'-lantern? Go back to that first article, Kowal, and we can drop this and go back to Deuteronomy 18 and 10. Let's go back to Deuteronomy 18 and 10, and then pull that very first article with the jack-o'-lantern up. And you're going to learn the history of the jack-o'-lantern. This terrified my kids last night. They was like, what the hell? They looking at me like, Daddy, can you turn a light on in here? Why are you telling us this before we eat dinner? And we got to go to bed right after that. Why are you teaching us this? Because I don't want you to carve a damn jack-o'-lantern. Because I want you to know what this is really about. And it's not all innocent like your teachers are promoting it when they take it to the damn pumpkin patch. Yeah, pull that up. Pull that up. We need to see that. This is just one of the traditions of this religious observance of Samhain, better known as Halloween, formerly known as All Hallows Eve. This is one of those traditions that they present to our babies.
It says carving jack-o'-lanterns. The tradition of carving jack-o'-lanterns originated in Ireland using turnips instead of pumpkins.
Mm-hmm.
It is allegedly based on a legend about a man named Stingy Jack.
Who?
Stingy Jack.
Yeah, listen to that, little kids. You ever heard of Stingy Jack? Salakia.
Stingy Jack, who repeatedly trapped the devil and only let him go on the condition that Jack would never go to hell.
What in the world is that? Now, that ain't something I want to teach my children. That ain't some practice that I want to instill as a tradition, as a family tradition in my household. Talking about some devil from Ireland named Stingy Jack. Keep reading, Salakia.
But when Jack died, he learned that heaven did not want his soul either.
That was some truth. There's some truth in this story. Keep reading.
So he was forced to wander the earth as a ghost for eternity. The devil gave Jack a burning lamp of coal and a carved out turnip to light his way. Locals eventually began carving scary faces into their own turnips to frighten away evil spirits.
Stingy Jack and the devil. Stingy Jack is the devil that the Bible speaks of. All right. That's what we teach our children. We can discredit Stingy Jack and this folklore, because that's all it is. It's just a myth. It's just a legend. It's a tall tale. Our kids have other things to worry about, like not getting gunned down or unalived in the streets because of oppression. Our kids got to worry about the school to prison pipeline. They don't got time to be worried about carving no damn jack-o'-lanterns and the legend of Stingy Jack. Leave that to the oppressor. Let his kids worry about Stingy Jack and worrying about ghosts and goblins and ghouls and things that don't even exist. All right? If you're Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, these are the keys to life. All right? We can no longer subscribe to white society's culture as our own customs. We have to remove our spirit. What I mean by that is stop practicing these things. Stop doing these things completely. Don't celebrate Halloween tomorrow. Don't do nothing special at all when it comes down to Halloween. Your kids come home with a pumpkin, you throw it in the garbage. Get rid of it. Because it has nothing to do with you serving the Most High Power. And the angels in heaven, I'm sure they rejoice when they see you snatch that damn pumpkin out of your child's hand and slam it into the garbage can. That's how, there has to be a violent separation, a severing of the oppressor's customs. We have to violently remove ourselves from that. All right? Anyhow, What's the next practice?
Next practice on here. All right.
Yeah, pull the next practice up and let's get back to Deuteronomy 18.
All right. The next practice was
because they mentioned something.
Seeing ghosts, and we have wearing scary costumes or trick or treating. Which one you want?
Yeah, I mean, we can run them all down. We got a little bit of time.
Seeing ghosts. All right. The festival of Samhain marked the tradition to the new year at the end of the harvest and beginning of the winter. Celtic people believe that during the festival, spirits walk the earth. Later on, Christian missionaries introduced All Souls Day on November 2nd.
What kind of missionaries were they?
Christian missionaries.
Yeah, Christianity promotes white supremacy, promotes the customs and traditions of white society. All right, this is the reason why they paint God as being white, Jesus Christ as being white, all the angels are white, all the priests and prophets and patriarchs, they're all white. That's Christianity. What does it have to do with so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians? Not a damn thing. All right. So if you black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, and you say you're a Christian, you don't truly follow the Christ according to what the Bible teaches about Christ. We understand that Christ is a very dark-skinned black man from the tribe of Judah, and he would never subscribe to these lies about ghosts and the undead. Keep reading.
Come on, Christian missionaries introduced All Souls Day on November 2nd, which perpetuated the idea of the living coming into contact with the dead around the same time of year.
The living coming in contact with the dead around the same time of year. Well, I'll tell you something about the dead. The Bible likens death to sleep multiple times, okay? The dead know nothing. That's what the Bible teaches about the dead, all right? I don't know why we're so infatuated with zombies and the undead. They promote, The Walking Dead, and then what's the other series they got? Apocalypse Z, and all. They got all these movies about zombies and the undead coming to life and living amongst the living. That's all fantasy, man. That is a fantastic idea. All right. Now there is an occurrence where the dead were walking the streets, but that was when Christ was crucified. All right. And the dead in Christ will rise according to what the Bible says, right?
Right.
But it ain't gonna be like this. You ain't gonna be coming out like Thriller. You're not gonna look like that.
Right, of course.
Salakia.
Trooper Darash said, also, Xmas teaches your kids to lie. Once kids realize Santa doesn't exist and parents told them lies, they learn that behavior.
Oh, he said Xmas. Yeah, Xmas. And I pissed somebody off this week, emailing them. Well, last week, they kept saying Christmas. We're not going to be off for Christmas. You'll be off for Christmas, but not, the week after Christmas. And I just kept putting Xmas inside of the email stream. And I could tell they were getting agitated because Christmas went from capital C and everything else lowercase to capital CHRISTMAS in the email thread. And you're not supposed to do that because that's not good etiquette when you're emailing. All right. And so I was like, I still wrote Xmas because what the hell does it have to do with Christ? It has nothing at all to do with Christ. This celebration of Christmas. Okay.
Back in the day when we was kids, if you said Xmas in church or Xmas in your paper, your parents got mad at you.
Yeah, they got mad at you for saying Xmas.
You don't take the Christ out of Christmas. Like, what the hell do you have to do it in the first place?
Which is so backwards. And now I love it. I love seeing Xmas. I love seeing it because it don't got nothing to do with our Savior, with our King. It has nothing at all to do with him. All right. It has everything to do against him.
You can't even say Merry Christmas in stores anymore. You have to say Happy Holidays.
Yeah.
Now they're trying to say, don't even say that. Just season's greetings.
Season's greetings.
Because you think about it, first went from people saying, Merry Christmas, and atheists like, I don't believe in Christ. I don't believe in the Bible. That's offensive to me because I'm an atheist. So then they want to sue the store. So stores started getting sued, lawsuits started happening. Right. So they said now customers don't say Merry Christmas, just say Xmas. So all your advertisements put Xmas. So then Christians started getting mad and trying to sue the stores.
Right.
Chick-fil-A speaking up. All these Christian organizations spoke up. So then they said, okay, don't say Xmas. Just say Happy Holidays. So now, like, what do you mean happy holidays? I'm not happy during the holidays. I lost a friend during the holidays. So now they're just saying, man, season's greetings.
Right, right.
To keep changing the narrative, moving the goalpost. This is ridiculous. Like, they just need to just wrap it all up.
Just wrap it all up. Kim Jong-un pushed the button. Pooh Shiesty pushed the damn button already, man. I'm sick and tired of being here on this earth and having to deal with, false narratives just about reality. You get into these little issues with people at your slavery. You got an issue with your boss or an issue with your supervisor or your manager, and it's all fake. Because in real time, nature says that I win. You're 5'3", you're out of shape. You wouldn't be able to tell me anything outside of the constraints of this microcosm of this job. All right. And that's how we got to start looking at just life, period. Understanding that, the Most High Power is in charge. And that's who you bow to need. That's who you bow to. And stop giving so much credence to these supervisors, to these managers, to white society. All right. Because they don't set the tone, man. The Most High Power sets the tone. Let's go back to Deuteronomy, man.
What's that?
Yeah, Deuteronomy 18 and 10. Let's do that one again.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 18 and verse 10. There shall not be found among you anyone that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire.
So we talked about ritualistic child sacrifice and how we would do that in ancient times. Okay, because we followed after the other nations. We watched the Babylonians do it. Okay, we watched all these heathen nations do that with their young, and it was to no benefit for us because we're God's chosen, and we get punished. The Most High, we turn our back on the Most High when we do those sort of things. We don't have any protection. Now we can be destroyed. Now we're put in the hands of these heathens to rule over us. Now we got to go into slavery via cargo slave ship and be sold unto our enemies for bondmen and bondwomen because we did stupid things like allowing our children to pass through the fire, sending your children out to trick or treat or to go to a trick or trunk. You're passing them through the fire. These are religious celebrations. When you look at, when you look at those fraternities and sororities, they talk about crossing the burning sands. It is a rite, like a rite of passage. And by you allowing your kids to participate in these very ancient pagan religious celebrations, these are rituals. Everything from your birthday, that's a ritual. The birthday culminates to what? You slicing a cake and blowing out candles and making a wish to who? To the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? I never read that anywhere in this Bible. These are all rites of passage in order for you to, sustain yourself in Esau's kingdom, in Esau's empire, for you to be accepted, by the other nations, by the oppressor. They promote this. Yeah, that's ritualistic child sacrifice. Is that Molech or? Yeah, or Baal, or one of those ancient. You go by the same, different names. They change the names, but it's the same thing. It's all death. It has nothing to do with life or living or the living power. It's all idolatry. It's all satanic. Okay, it's all polytheism. It's all paganism. That's what it is. And we're too grown to not be able to know that. You can't be a dummy with a smartphone in your back pocket, man. Spending all that money on the iPhone 15, but you can't even Google search the pagan origins of Halloween or pagan origins of the birthday celebration or the pagan origin of Christmas. It's real simple. We're showing you that these things are against God. These things are against our nation advancing itself amongst the other nations. We continue to just be dumb, see grown behind people dressing up, going to the club, I pray the Lord's vengeance, man. The Lord rains down his vengeance. Now, don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? I pray for mercy for our people also. You know, I pray the Lord is merciful when it comes down to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. But how much longer are we going to continue to do the same things? How much longer? Salakia. So, Deuteronomy 18.
Khan, this is the book of Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy chapter 18 and verse 10. There shall not be found among you anyone that maketh his son or his daughter pass through the fire, or that uses divination, or an observer of times, or an enchanter, or a witch,
right,
or a charmer, or a consulter with familiar spirits, or a wizard, or a necromancer. For all that do these things are an abomination unto the Most High. And because of these abominations, the Most High thy power doth drive them out from before thee. Thou shalt be perfect with the Most High thy power.
We shall be what?
Perfect with the Most High thy power.
That's without flaw, man. That is without flaw. So when you think about those that use divination, what does that word divination mean? Divination just means it's the practice of seeking knowledge of the future or of the unknown by supernatural means. Who consorted with the witch of Endor? King Saul did, man. King Saul did. Consorted with the witch of Endor. I would have pulled that scripture, but we ain't have time to do that. When you get the opportunity, look that up, man. Look up witch of Endor and look at what King Saul resorted to. It makes me wonder, like, man, why would he do that? Why would he do that? Why would he consort with a witch? And the Bible says we should not suffer a witch to live. It's a part of our law. And that was when we were in rulership. We had our own kings. We had our own kingdom. We had our own military force. We had our own army. So if you were a witch and it was found out that you were a witch and you were amongst the children of Israel, you were unalived. Your water was cut off. And here we go, Saul disguising himself to consort with a witch. Anyhow, you can't do that, man. You can't go see Sister Ann. You can't go get your palm read. You can't go lean on your horoscope. All right, that's another thing of us observing of an observer of the times. Okay, what else? We said divination or an enchanter. You can't be a witch, man. You can't cast spells. I know Harry Potter is very, very popular amongst people, but did you know that J.K. Rowling actually put real curses in those books? Those spells are real, actual curses. And she consorted with witches to come up with these spells that you see being rendered in Harry Potter. This is the reason why the Roman Catholic Church has banned, J.K. Rowling's literature. Like they're not doing wicked and evil any otherwise, but that's just like an affront, a false showing of righteousness. All right. Because the Roman Catholic Church are responsible for tremendous wicked and evil on the earth. All right. Just because you banned J.K. Rowling's books because you found out that she put actual spells in them, it doesn't mean nothing in the sight of the Lord, man. All right. Or a witch, right? Or a charmer, or a consulter with familiar spirits. What is a familiar spirit? Anybody know what a familiar spirit is? Yeah. A familiar spirit would be defined as a demon, supposedly attending and obeying a witch, often said to assume the form of an animal. So when you usually see some of the symbology that we see around Halloween is you see all sorts of insects, centipedes, millipedes, spiders, okay? Then you'll see cats. And those cats they represent familiars. You see a black cat. Usually it's the demon of a witch. And you got to understand one thing about demons according to what the Bible says, these are just spirits created for vengeance. All right. These will be deemed evil spirits. They're angels, but they are spirits of the Most High Power created to mete out punishment, to mete out the evil that we see transpiring in the earth. All right. You can't believe that these witches have any sway or any power over these demons. All right, or these evil spirits. Anyhow, it says, or a wizard. A wizard is a male witch. You think of Merlin. You think of Gandalf. You think of Gargamel from the Smurfs. Gandalf from the Lord of the Rings. Merlin from King Arthur. Mickey Mouse when he was in Fantasia. Those are all wizards, okay? Future is a wizard, okay? He's promoting, the wicked and evil of a witch. It's an abomination in the sight of the Lord, all right? It says a necromancer. What is a necromancer? Someone that tries to raise the dead, right? Now, the people are like, oh, well, Christ raised the dead. He raised Lazarus. It wasn't in the spirit of what we see when we look at these Halloween celebrations, all right? Like Pet Cemetery. Yeah, the Ouija board nonsense, man. That's all rubbish, all right? What Christ did was a very righteous thing, and that was a miracle. It wasn't wicked. It wasn't evil in the sight of the Lord, all right? So for all that do these are an abomination, something that is hated unto the Most High. All right. And the Most High is going to drive them out before thee. All right. You'll see what happens when you go to the Halloween party. It's going to get shot up. It's going to get shot up. And you're going to hear all this screaming, all this crying. Who gives a damn about any of that? Because you've been warned. We've been telling you since 1969 to stop celebrating Halloween. We got to learn the hard way, unfortunately. All right. So drop that. We're going to go into, let's see, man. There's so many different scriptures I wanted to talk about. Go to 2 Thessalonians 2:15. Matter of fact, Colossians 2:8. Go to Colossians chapter 2, verse 8. We'll do that one first.
Book Colossians chapter 2 and verse 8.
Right.
Beware, lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit.
Right.
After the traditions of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Yahushua.
And we have to be aware. We have to wake up and pay attention to what's going on. Pay attention to those assignments that your kids are being given by their instructors, man. There's one that they're going to have you disguise a turkey. It's coming up for Thanksgiving. All right. We cannot be destroyed, by participating in any of this stuff. All right. We're not supposed to celebrate Halloween. Don't allow your kids to go trick-or-treating. Just because everybody else is doing it, don't mean that you have to participate as well. Dare to be different. You're supposed to be peculiar. All right. We're holy. We're supposed to be separate. That's what the Bible calls us to be, separate. It says, beware lest any man do what?
Lest any man spoil you. Spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit.
Yeah, man. This the philosophy of what? Celebrating the fall, the ending of summer, and celebrating the fall, the fall harvest. These are very old things, man, that have always been against the Most High Power. We can't no longer subscribe to doing these things as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Keep reading.
Kind one kind. Verse 9.
No, just after the.
Oh, okay, Slakia. After the traditions of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Christ.
Right. We're following after the world when we're supposed to be following after Christ, the example that he set. And he never suffered the little children to go trick-or-treating. I don't read that anywhere in here. All right. Drop that. Go to 2 Thessalonians 2:15. The book of 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 15.
The 2 Thessalonians 2, verse 15. Therefore, brethren, stand fast and hold the traditions which ye have been taught, whether by word or epistle.
Right. So blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, you are my brother, my kinsman according to the flesh. All right. We are one family, one blood-related family. The only thing that separates us is what transpired during the transatlantic slave trade. Those separate boat stops in North America, Central America, South America, and throughout the Caribbean. All right. We're one family chosen by the Most High Power. All right. We're supposed to stand fast. Right now is not the time for you to be laying down your sword. Right now is not the time for you to be a coward and you to be giving in to the carnality of this world. All right. Hold the traditions which you have been taught. We haven't been taught trick-or-treating. We haven't been taught carving jack-o'-lanterns. We haven't been taught bobbing for apples. Who is teaching us those things, man? The devil that the Bible speaks of. We got to remove our spirit from just loving the oppressor and start to love what the Most High has given us. This should be gold to us. Keeping his law, statutes, and commandments, holding true to these traditions, all right, which we have been taught. You're not being taught in the Christian church. You're not being taught in Islam, in the Muslim mosque. You got to come here and get it at ground level, man. We at 205 West Russell Street here in Fayetteville. We are the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge coming out of 1 West 125th Street under Commanding General YAHANNA, man. In the I.S.U.P.K, we teach the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Know that you are God's chosen people, all right? And that's my time. I'm going to pass the class off to Priest and Officer of 1,000, Kawalban YAHAWADAH. Yeah, I'm going to sign Christ. Yeah.
I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We're the I.S.U.P.K. Start at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. New rule for brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes to the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They're here to share themselves with the world. They need transportation. The teacher will arrange it. After the 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months which the brother and sister will court each other. After the 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:8-10. Means tenth in Hebrew is pronounced by Asherah. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund. This is a free will offer for priests. It's not mandatory whatsoever. Amount you would like to give. Upcoming holy convocations. The Feast of Hanukkah coming up. December 7th, which is a Thursday. You can find this in Maccabees chapter 4, 52-61, 25th day of the 9th month, all right? By the span of 8 days. Also, we got the cookout in Houston coming up, all right? I think November, the last weekend of November, the 23rd, the 26th, something like that. You need transportation, get with your camp leader, all right? Go down to Houston, Texas, support the brothers down there. Also, Commander YAHANNA will be doing a lecture, so you don't want to miss it, all right? Log into America on Fire tonight, of course. Like, share, subscribe. All the podcasts, all the music, all the classes. Like, share, subscribe. All right. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black: boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf with that imadium. Also, the Lord's 55th annual pastor will be in Durham, North Carolina this year. All right. Make your arrangements now.
That's right.
Men of Israel, Madam Shabbat, imadium, Barak. Yajmatah, Sar, turn face sisters. Men of Israel, we will win the one curse to the sisters. Men of Israel, Madam Shabbat, Badiam, Barak. Yajmatah, class dismissed.
get all that stuff written down?